you have the 700, okay? That's your trim router. That's a horsepower, okay? You have the 1010. That's your horse and a half category. You have your 1400. That's your 2.5, 2 3/4. And then this big guy here, the 2200, is your 3 1/4, 3.5. Now, really quick, if you want to know horsepower to watts, okay, it's pretty simple. 740, this is what I was taught. 746 watts is roughly a horsepower. So now you can put them in that category. Okay, now there's another reason you choose a router from Festool, is because you have these router bits. Now when somebody comes up to me and says, oh boy, a router, I don't care what brand it is, a router's expensive. No, it's not. Guess what's expensive is the router bits. So make your choice wisely. And at Festool, we have different size collets. A collet is pretty simple. A collet is what holds the router bit into the motor shaft. Okay? And here in North America, we have 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch shanks. Okay, so you've got to choose the right router that accepts these. Now, worldwide, we have 8 millimeter shank router bits. Okay, and that's a standard worldwide. So here's how I'm going to break it apart. See these two? I'm going to break them first in this category, this category. Okay, these two take, 8 millimeter, 1/4 inch router bits. That's it. These, the 1400 and 2200, they take 8 millimeter, 1/4 inch, and 1/2 inch router bits, shanked router bits. So that's kind of like an easy way to do it. But there's another way, okay? And I want you to see this. See this is a roundover, okay? Sometimes you break an edge, maybe it's a table edge. It's a decorative profile. This could actually be on top of a bookcase. Right? Now when you look at that and you look at the size of the holes or apertures on the base, and I'm going to tilt these over, you'll see the size. You're not putting this bit in here. Follow me? And look at the different roundovers. I broke it apart. Look, you have a small, medium, large, and extra large. So that's how you look at this. And the diameter of these, or the distance between them, this is 26 millimeters or 1 inch. This one here, the 1010, is 1 inch and 7/8 or 50 millimeters. See? This one here is 2 and 15/32 or 63 millimeter. So when you're looking at your router bits and you're trying to find, hey, which Festool router's for me? Okay? And this one, look, this is very powerful. You got to swing these big bits. It's a 3.5 or 89 millimeter aperture. Of course, and you guys know that a router is the most versatile tool in any woodworking shop, any job site. The router rules, okay? But it's also the messiest, okay? It creates a ton of dust. So, number one, yes, Festool, we better be good at it. We have killer dust extraction. You'll see that in a few minutes. But also, it works in our system. It works on the daggone guide rail. I'm going to show you how to set it up. I just chose the 1400. I'm going to show you how to set it up on the guide rail. All right? And you could just use it on the guide rail, but if you combine it with the multi-function table, you have repeatability. You can do angles. Okay, you can do grooves, you can do dados, you can do stop dados, you can do mortises. Today I'm going to do a mortise. Okay, I always point out, because people go, well, isn't a groove the same as a dado? No, a groove goes long grain, a dado goes cross grain. I thought I'd point that out. They're the same thing. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to stop and start precisely, just like this on these lines, using the multifunction table, our guide rail, and the OF 1400. But we're going to use this. This is called a guide stop. The rods, okay, the guide stop comes with those two pieces and that piece, and I'm going to show you how this all goes together. I'm going to get that out of the way so you can see it. Okay, and everybody gets this, but what they don't get when they come to a training class is what's this scale for? I'll show you in a minute. Let's get started. Let's put the router bit in first. Okay, I'm going to put it in the collet right here. And now hopefully we get this at the right angle that I need. I got the 8mm in there. I'm going to back it out just a skosh. Okay, just like that. See this green tab right here? This is the ratcheting collet. So when I take the wrench and put it on the flats here, if I go like this, that means I'm tightening it up. Listen, see that? And man, I can tighten that up. It's only one wrench. That saved me maybe a minute or two at a time, and that's the name of the game, is saving time with Festool. Okay, I'm going to set that off to the side. Now I'm going to set this up. This is known as a guide stop. If we can come in here, cameraman, and see this. You see these two little tabs here? See them? This either goes here or out here. Okay, so when I put the rods in like this, I'm going to slide it in, whoop, 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 just like this. I always offset things. You'll see how it's easy to get on the machine. Okay, I'm going to put it on here, and just like you guys know, who out there's got a track saw? Okay, you know when you put the track saw on the guide rail, you have those cams. It's to knock out the lateral tolerance, right? Well, that's what I'm going to do here. If I put this on here and grab it by the rods like this and go like this, and it's wiggling back and forth, then what I'll do is I'll take a posi drive screwdriver, okay, a posi drive tip, and make sure you use a Festool screwdriver for this, okay? You can only use a Festool screwdriver, all right? Okay, so when you put it in there, you see how I'm tightening that posi drive screw? That pushes that tab like this. So you want the right amount of friction on there, but you still want it to slide, you know, without hesitating. Okay, next part, I got my router bit in there. I'm going to take it, see these two holes right here? I'm going to slide it in. Here's the knob right here. This is how it clamps down. I'm going to take it like this and put it right on the rail. The router rides partially on the rail, and I'm going to tighten this knob. It's called the central clamping knob. I call it the uniknobber. I'm going to take this, and here's my, see, this wants to fall off like that. All right, but what this support bracket does, it supports the router. Okay, and take it like this. You see how I'm pushing it down, and now it rides in the same plane as the guide rail. The guide rail is 5mm thick. Okay, so I have that set up. Now, I need to make sure, this is an 18mm bit. I want to make a mortise that accepts this 18mm thick plywood. So what I want to do is, I've seen people go like this. They take it, they lock it down, and they move it back and forth to either side of this line. But here's what's super cool about Festool routers. Every single one of these on this table has a scribed center line. It is right here. Check it out. See it? It's right there. It's right here on the scale. It's back here and right over here. So it's a quadrant system. We're the only router system in the world that has those scribed center lines. It's because we precision grind these rods. That's why. So when I take this and I move it over, and I'll probably get in the way, and I'm doing this fast, I'm not looking for absolute perfection. I just want to do this demonstration for you. See how I line that up? I scribe the center line. Okay, so if this is 18, what's half of 18? 9. Okay, so if I have that center line at 9, I know I'm going to be dead on. Cool. So I have that set up. Now, I want to stop that bit precisely here. Come in here so we can see this, guys. Precisely there, and start it precisely here. So the way I do this, and stay right there, Big D. Look, I'm going to move this over. And this is 18mm, so half of 18, you guys told me, is 9. I'm going to stop it right there. See it? Now, you guys, hopefully you know what this is. This is called a limit stop. This helps you when you're using your track saws, okay, from pulling up when you're plunge cutting. We use these as stops. See that? So I can set this up. See? Wait a minute, I'm going to stop back. How many times in woodworking, okay, or on a job site, or in a shop, have you made a jig, okay? To take, and you spent an hour building the jig, right? Okay, and guess what? You take that, you put it to run against the saw blade, or run against a router bit, and you spent hours building that jig. Do you throw that jig away? No, you don't, because you take it, you put your piece on, you go like this, boom, 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 and you're done. You never throw a jig away, because someday you may need that. You put it up on the shelf, don't you? You know what I call those? I call those time trophies. Well, if we look at how we're setting this up right now with all these stops and starts, when you incorporate the MFT3 table, the whole system becomes an ever-evolving jig. So I'm going to take it, I'm going to move that scale back over here to 9 on this side, bring it in, and everybody think about this. Look, I got a repeatable stop. I just built a jig in less than 5 minutes, okay? And I don't have to put it up on the shelf. I could use it for another jig. Hopefully you're following me, and hopefully I'm making sense. All right, so I got that set up. Now, the last increment of measurement we got to work on is what? Depth. So I'm going to take that, and I'm going to start at 0. Follow me on this, everybody. I'm going to, this plunge, I'm going to plunge down, and I'm going to lock that bit at what I call ground 0. Okay? Now, if we come in here, and I'm going to do this so the camera can get it. Okay? See this? I always set it. These are depth steps in case I don't want to take the whole 6 millimeters. That's my plunge depth I'm going to use. Okay? And you see that? I always use the last turret stop. If I need to micro adjust, I take my micro adjust, I bring it to 0. See how I line up 0 right here with this line? I'm not going to micro adjust today, but I'm going to push the rod down. And this tab here may be up. I'm going to push that down and 0 it out. Okay? Now, if I take this, wait a minute. I want to go down 6 millimeters. I need to create space between here and here, 6 millimeters. Or I can use the scale. I like to use gauge blocks. Now, I'll tell you, see this? This is a domino. This is a 6x40 domino. It's 6 millimeters thick. I'm going down 6 millimeters. Look what I'm going to do. Look, I'm going to take that and put it right in there like that. See? And then I'm going to lock the depth stop rod like this. Let me just come over here so I can check it. See? Now, I'm going to go down to 0, which I have it locked down to, and go an extra in-depth 6 millimeters. On a future episode, we can also go into micro-adjust and other little topics of fine topics of like depth setting and stuff like that. Okay, so I have that set up, right? Now, I got to put on dust extraction. See these 2 little tabs? Okay, it kills me sometimes when people come into a training class and they said, oh, I didn't know it had a window that opened up. Okay, there's a window here on your dust extraction nozzle. Okay, the 2 little tabs go right into these 2 little mortises in back. Okay, oh boy, I don't know if we're going to get this on camera. There's a little green tab that I'm locking down under the base. See if we can get that, guys. See it right there? I took this tab and brought it right in there. Perfect. Okay, and I'm going to close the window. All right, I got everything set up. Okay, now, before I run any router, ever, I always check my setup. I'm going to make sure everything is tight, it's ready to go. I'm also, before there's any power, I'm going to make sure that it is cycled off. Okay, here we go. Now, I always put dust extraction on first. We have a lock-on system now with the dust extraction. I line up the arrows. I put it in, I turn it and lock it. Okay, I get it all set up. Now, I got the power. All right, and when I put the power in, before I do it, okay, my hand goes on the guide stop, and it never comes off of the guide stop. Okay, I'm going to get it, and remember, when you put a plug-it cord in, it's a full quarter turn. Don't forget that. All right, I'm going to turn it on, and hopefully you can hear me this week over the noise. Okay, look where I'm going to plunge from the top. Okay? Did you notice my hand still has not left and I've not gone near the route a bit? Now, everybody come in here and see this. See how I started it precisely and stopped it precisely. All right? So that is why Festool routers with the MFK 700. You can buy this as a set. You can buy it for the Conturo when it comes with this base right here that I had here earlier, right here. Okay, this is the base that comes with the Conturo. I'll set that off to the side, or the MFK EBQ. But what I want to talk about is when you get the MFK set, you get the 1.5 degree base. And there is another base I'll talk about in a minute, but also you don't get the parallel edge guide. And I truly believe this is the best top accessory you can get for the MFK, because now you can run very efficiently. We thought Sparky was going to move.
Somebody was mistaken.
I love this dog. I bet you when I turn on the router,
He will.
he will. Okay, so as I go through this, and I'll try not to be redundant, but I'm obviously gonna be, because I'm gonna call out some unique features on some of these routers. The one thing all our routers have is this. It's the center line. That is the daggone exact center of this bit that I have in here. That's a 6mm bit. So I'm gonna loosen this knob right here, and I'm gonna take the base off. And what's nice about this is I can do my setup without the router and the router bit interfering. So I'm gonna take these rods, I'm gonna deadhead them in. Hey, Garrett, what episode did I do MFK 700?
MFK 700, 31.
Boy, he's good. I wrote them down. Okay, so as I do this, the MFK 700 parallel guide comes with a parallel guide, it comes with the micro adjust, and it comes with the 2 rods. Where a lot of the times with the routers, I'll name them out, the 1010 and 1400, they come with the rods, okay? The rods don't come with the 2200, but it comes in the set. So I'm just gonna put this in. You see this little, and there's a groove here. This is the micro adjust. You'll see the through hole right here. I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna slide it in like this, and here's the nice setup to it. Watch this. See how I can get it right there on the center line? I'm going to tighten these ever so slightly, not a lot, but I'm gonna tighten this one, and I can, watch, see how I can dial that right in? And it's perfect right back here as well. So I'm gonna tighten these up. Okay, I'm gonna set my motor to the base. I'm gonna tighten it up with this knob. And I'm gonna do a quick depth set. I'm gonna go down 9mm, 3/8 of an inch. I've done this before. I'm gonna do it again. I always use gauge blocks, and I'm gonna dial it right in just like that. Good. I'm watching Gage laugh. He's going, man, that dude's a ham. Okay, I'm gonna hook it up and let's run this. Sparky, if you stay put, I will be so impressed. He is the ultimate shop dog, isn't he, man? He really is. Okay, hey, really, really quick. Before you ever turn on a router, you make sure that that switch is off. And when you put a plug-it cord in, you make sure it's a full quarter turn. Okay, so I'm gonna set this up. I'm gonna bump the bit there. I'm gonna turn it on. Oh, there goes Sparky. But look at that, that parallel edge guide, like any parallel edge guide, will allow you to run parallel and make a perfect groove for, say, a back of a cabinet. So, make sure you unplug that too. So the other base I'm gonna show you is a 0-degree base. The one that comes with the MFK 700 is a 1.5 degree. So when you put the straight bit in there, you trim your banding at that 1.5 degree. There are some times when you put a really wide, like a hardwood, like a 5/8 or 9/16 piece of hardwood on there and you trim it. If you use that 1.5, here and here, it actually has a slight taper to it. So if you don't want that, there is a base that allows you to present the router in a horizontal position at exactly 0 degrees. And it's always marked out like this. And I've used this several times. Okay, this is a great additional accessory for the MFK 700. Whoo! Okay, so next, and I brought out the old 1010 right here. Everything I talk about on the 1010, the new 1010 REQ-F, okay, I always got to remember, all the accessories work with it or in conjunction. So if you upgraded to the new 1010, all your accessories are fluid with it. But I want to talk about this piece right here. All right, yes, it comes, the OF1010 REQ in the US and Canada comes with what? The guide stop. Okay, this allows you, and it comes with the rods, to take your OF1010 and ride it on the rail to create grooves, dados, tenons. I've done several episodes on utilizing the router with the guide stop and the rail. But what I want to talk about is this is the parallel guide, and this is a great addition. This, you can buy this, it's an accessory. I would highly recommend it. We did an additional fence on the parallel guides episode. So, yeah, if you want, Garrett, bring it on over. Hey, look, it's Garrett. Hey, I got a helper. He's more than just a helper. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the parallel, I put the rods in, and I lock these down. I'm going to take it, I'm going to slide it in. See my center line on my OF1010? I'm going to get it close, and I'm going to tighten these two knobs right here and right here. Okay, now, if we look at this, this is in the catalog, it's part number 483358. No, I don't have a good memory, I wrote it right here. Okay, good. So, it is called the fine adjuster. Look at the thread on that. It's wicked, wicked tight. Okay, so I'm going to slide this on. It goes on the outside here. Okay, and on the parallel guide, you actually have it tapped right there. So if I slide this in, and I'm going to tap it in right here, as soon as I start to see my rod, then I have that fine adjustment. I'm going to bring it right in. I bring it about halfway on the thread, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten these two, and Chris, I'm going to have you swing around here, okay, to capture this. So these are tight, these two are tight. Now I'm going to loosen what? This one, and now look how that comes right in. See how I can dial it back and forth? So I can get that absolutely perfect on the line. And what's nice, I have that center line here, here. I also have it here and here, so if I need to stop it and start it precisely, I could do that as well. So that's the fine adjuster. I wanted to point it out. In other episodes, I talked about this. This is the trammel point. Fits right in on the base of the OF1010, and you have this 4mm pivot point, and you can swing arcs and circles like we did that one episode. So I wanted to point that out as well. Woo! Garrett, I thought you were going to help me with the LR32. Here comes Garrett, he's going to help me out. So the reason I have the LR32 here, go ahead and open that up for me, sir, please. Okay, I'll have Garrett open that up. Oh, isn't that nice? Give me a Vanna. Oh, he's so good at this. He's so good. Man. Do that again. Give me a wave. Hey, now you're talking. Now you're talking. He's a natch. All right. So the reason I have this set up in between the 1400 and the 1010 is because those are the two routers, the only two routers that work with the LR32 system. So if somebody asked me, Sedge, what's your top accessory for the 1400 and 1010, I'm automatically going to say the LR32. You got to get the rail as well. But the reason I say that is I love building cabinetry, and this is an amazing system. And we have a couple of episodes on it. I believe it's number 13. See how I didn't have to reference that? So number 13, and then there's an advanced LR32. So check it out. I'm not going to go in depth on it. It is I always call this a system within our Festool system. It is an incredible system for punching holes for adjustable shelves, your hinge plates, your cup hinges on all your kitchen hinge systems. It's wonderful. It's standardized. It works. All right. So I'm going to skip the 1400. I want to step over here. because the 1400 and the OF 2200 share something in common. Or maybe I covered it in the 1400, I'm not sure. But we've done episodes. Of everything, so this is an easy one for me to recommend to somebody. If someone purchases the OF 2200, they go, what else do I need? And I go, the accessory kit. This was one of the first times we had ever done this, where we've put all the top accessories for the OF 2200 or any of our router inside. You got a parallel guide, you get the guide stop, you got template guides. Your choice, though, is if you want them, there's two kits, one that's an imperial and one that's in metric. You get all these bases, you get the rods, you get dust extraction. But here's the other thing I'm going to say. You can buy all of these separately. Why would you? You buy it all at once. But here is a application that I'll be using, but I'll be using it with, watch, the 1400 Thursday night. These are called table wideners. They're offset bases. The MFK vertical base is automatically built with the table widener into it. The base it's integrated into the base. It's a huge, substantial base that allows you a lot more control. And guess what? When I'm spinning a big bit like this, okay, with the 2200, you know what I want? I want more support here on this side of it. So it's a quick change. I take it like this. I release that green lever. I put this in like this. And there's something I wanted to point out when I did this. Look at the thickness of this phenolic base right here. See it? Because we added an additional, this is magnesium aluminum, we added another 5 millimeters. You have to adjust accordingly, because this builds it up or pushes it up. So you have to adjust an additional, and I'm going to take it up, 5 millimeters of depth. So there you go. Just like that. I'll actually bottom it out and bring it up 1/4 inch, which is roughly 5 millimeter. So there you go, and you can get a perfect edge formed like that. And look, Chris, come over on this side. So now as I'm using this with the 2200's 30-degree offset, this will give me so much more base and stability and control. So there you go. I just wanted to point out what a table widener was. Also, here's an accessory he did, plexiglass template. What episode?
39.
Wow, man, he is good. Man, I got to watch out for my job. He's going to take it. Okay. This is the plexiglass template. I think we call it routing aid now. We did episode 39. We did an entire episode on this, but look at all the holes. Guess what? The only router that doesn't work with this is the MFK 700. You can use the 2200. You can use the 1400 and the OF 1010. A great accessory. Check it out. Check out episode 39. Woo, doggy. Okay. I think we get started right now with the Sippo Dominoes. I mean, in our catalog it says Sippo, but they're actually, it's a genre of mahogany. It was released, I believe, in 2009, 2010. It took a couple years for it to come out after the initial launch of the Domino. And I had to look up what Sippo was, and then I found out it was mahogany. Duh, it's our exterior usage Domino. Okay, it's darker than most. It's of course, it's got the mahogany colors. It's available in the pre-cuts in 5x19, 5x30, 6x40, 8x40, 8x50, and 10x50. It is not available in the 4x20. Okay. So what do you do? What do you mean exterior? Well, if you're building some patio furniture, or you're doing like some corbels for a garage or a portico, or you're doing, I've seen this, or you're doing a big gate and you want to use mortise and tenon joinery or loose tenon joinery, you use Sippo. Okay. Now, I called out those pre-cuts. They're in. For the 500, those are the ones the DF500 uses, a smaller domino. But somebody asked not too long ago, oh, I can't get Sippo mahogany dominoes or Sippos for the XL. Yes, you can. And I have used them at home when I'm building stuff because I really like to do through tenon joinery. And you'll see right here on this little step ladder I made for my shop, okay? I use it because I like the contrasting with this is Sip or Southern Yellow Pine and the Sippo. You've seen in the Domino drawer box where we use them as a contrasting wood. These are 5x30s. And later on, we're going to do a taller I can't say it, draw box, okay? I don't have an accent, okay? You have an accent. You are, okay? But I'm gonna do a deeper box. See, deeper box, deeper drawer box. I'm gonna show you how to do more through tenons, utilizing the precision of the machine because they're all tight. So that's an upcoming episode that I'm writing up now. So, in saying that, what does the Domino use? XL. The Domino XL uses the thicker tenons, okay, but also longer, right? And we have pre-cuts right here in these two different sustainers. We have 12s and 14s in this pre-cut. And in this pre-cut, these are your beach tenons. And in this pre-cut, you have 8s and 10s. And you can see the different lengths. We have 80s, we have 50s, we have 100s, okay? Then on here, we have 140s, 120s, 100s. So we have that, right? And the XL takes in thickness 8s, 10s, 12s, and 14s. Well, guess what we have? We have them in Sippo, but they're longer. We don't sell the pre-cuts, and this is what I'm trying to get at. We do have these available. So the Domino 500 does 8s and 10s, so you could customize lengths for the if you're utilizing Sippo. But I just want to call it out too. If you need custom lengths for the XL, we have them in the regular beach variety. They're 750 millimeters long. Okay, and they come all wrapped up like this. Okay, they're color coded for each one. I've cut 8s all day long for other projects, and I custom cut them. And what I want to do is, I've done a video on this, I think on Festool Friday. I want to show you how to safely cut custom lengths. So one of the ones I have used for this, doing through tenon joinery on this little step ladder, is I have utilized, I believe they were 130. So let me measure these out and I'll show you how to custom cut these. So if you ever measured dominoes, like the 5x30, it's actually a 5x28. The math is easier. Dividing 30 is 15, right? So what we do is we always cut them a hair shorter. That way there, it allows the glue to come up the sides if you put too much glue in there. So when I'm gonna cut this, I need 130 length. So I'm gonna measure out what? I always cut them 2 millimeters shy, just like this. Okay, and I'm gonna cut these at 128. I'm gonna make a mark right here. Okay, and I'm going to take it over. Now, this is too short. Ask Travis. This is too short to cut on the K-Pex because my hand would be in the way. So what I do is I make a carrier. See this? And I just made it wide enough. I put a 14, by the way, this is 14 millimeters thick. I made a mortise with the, using the XL at 50 millimeters depth. And that's something that I'm just going to take here and bottom it out. And then I'm going to take it, because look, I need to make a bunch of these. I'll get my laser on my K-Pex, just like this. I'll set it up, and before I cut it, I'm going to set, so it's a repeatable stop now. See that? And then I'm just going to take this, and you'll see how safe that is. Okay? And then I can take that. I'm going to do one more so you can see it. I just bottom it out. And you can get those consistent lengths like this. Always make sure you let the saw do the cut, and you don't want to force that because you don't want that to wiggle. And then you'll see I can get that repeat. Now, there's one more tip I'm going to show you. You'll see it on all the pre-cuts. That is a sharp edge. Okay, what I like to do is go like this really quick just to knock that edge, so that goes into your mortise ever so slightly. You just have to use the Festool sanding block and granite sandpaper. Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay, good. But that's how you make your own custom lengths. And of course, you need to make custom lengths because for the XL with Sippo. Okay. Whew. Man, I got through that. I hope I didn't confuse everybody. But all of it's on our website in our new catalog. Okay, so next, this is the one I'll never forget. Okay, I'm gonna hold off because you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. What if I made this tool handle this morning, or this cabinet handle really quick, and I have a domino in here, okay? I have a 10 by 50, and that is awkward. How the heck do you do this? Even if I have this set up at 45, this is really cumbersome, okay? This has been around forever. This is what we call, it looks like the cross stop, what is it called? Trim stops, the ones that have the fences that move in and out, but it's got a V groove, you see it? Okay, and your round stock nestles in there just like that. Okay, I cut these this morning at a bevel. Like I'm pointing out, a tool handle maybe, but when you do a banister, handrail, okay, you always have to have a return because it's code here in the States that can't be, ooh, it's got some schmutz on there, because you could catch a belt or something going down a staircase, so you have to have a return that returns it to the wall so there's no catching point. Okay, so in saying that, if you have something like this at home, go look at it. Hey you, who was that? Was that a Peyton?
That was Peyton.
Hey Peyton, okay. You'll notice that what happens is they'll put some glue on here, or some whatever, okay? But go look at your banister. They got nail holes just like this and they fill them. What if I don't want that? So let's set this up for success, and I'll show you how this all goes together. I'm gonna take it like this, okay? And this is a 10 by 50. So what I do is I eyeball it like this, and I go, I don't want it down here, because then I'll have to use some putty and paint, make it what it ain't. So what I'm gonna do is I want it kind of toward the top right here. And then what I'm gonna do, that'll be about perfect for me, I'm just gonna make a quick mark here across, because I'm gonna set it up once with the system. You'll see this, the handrail accessory. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set this aside here. Okay, and then I'm gonna put on the handrail accessory fence. Okay. This is when I'm ever putting and setting things up for success on the domino. I'm going to get my wrench really quick. I put it over here. I checked this morning. I have a 10 millimeter Bix. I'm using a 10 by 50. I'm going to set my plunge depth at 25, which I did earlier. But instead of using the whole machine where this can get top heavy to set it for this, okay, I'm just going to remove this so it's a lot easier. Okay, we're going to set that back over here. All right. Now, when I put this on, okay, I'm going to show you how to set it up. All right, I'm going to set it at 45 because I cut this at 45 and 45. I got that positive detent. Okay, so let's look at this. I need, and this is why I drew that line there. I'm going to take it like, whoopsie, come on, Sedge, get together here. See how that goes right in that V groove? Okay, yes, it wants to rotate.
Hey, Sedge.
Yeah, what, Trappist?
I got a question.
Oh, what?
So when you put this in here, what keeps it from rolling all over the place on you?
Oh, hey, that's a good question. When I saw this for the first time in Germany many, many moons ago, I'm going to tell you, I saw that we saw it in the training center, and then we went to the practical room, and I said, I don't get it, until I used it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you right here. See, we know the distance from here to the center of the bit's 10 millimeters, but right here it's precision ground. So I use that once this is on and locked in. Let me lock this in. Okay, whoopsie. Chris, come over here so we can see this. Okay, take these little wings and put it in like this. Okay, so you know it's completely seated. I'll set it at 45 again. Okay, so this, I used to balance it like this and try to figure it out until I saw somebody doing this. And what I'm going to do is, hopefully we can see this on camera, but what I'll do is I'll eyeball it right on here. See it? See how it's setting? And what I'll do is I'll move my fence accordingly. Hopefully you guys are catching this at home. But that mark I will reference by taking this. Yeah, I got to do a bunch of things at once. But Chris, can you get that? I'm going to bring it right in line there like that. ever so gently take it, and then I'm going to lock it off. But to answer Travis's, who I call Trappist, question, this is what I thought. This is just going to rotate on here like this. Travis, come here and see this. When I start to plunge, look where that flat goes. It holds it just like that. See that? And locks it in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my dust extractor, bring her over, and I'll show you how that works. It's so funny until you actually use it and see it. Then you get it now, don't you?
I do.
Yeah. I always thought, no, I'm going to make a mark here and line it up here, but it's going to be tough to do. What I was doing initially, oh, yeah, let me plug it in there like this, is I always used to, okay, so we're all locked and loaded. I just want to tighten everything, make sure everything's tight. I'm going at 25. And you see, when I take that, come in here, Travis, so you can see it. See how it's on there right there? Yeah. I can't, it will not rotate on here because the fence is flat on the bias. Oh, phew, it worked again. So the small one's even easier. So when I take that, and I take it and I go like that, a little bit of glue, and that'll come right together and you have a perfect return, just like that. A little sanding right here, okay? Now, you'll see it's a little offset here and here. I'm gonna show you something else that's wicked cool about this. That may be off ever so slightly. So, by a little trial and error, see this? It may not fit exactly on the center. There's a little hex here, and you can dial it in so it's absolutely perfect, centered on there when you have round stock. Cool?
Awesome.
Thank you for your assistance, sir.
Sedge.
You betcha.
Bye, Travis.
Listen to him. Bye, Travis. Bye, Travis. Okay, next. Woohoo! Boy, he's a good dude, huh? All right. Hey, Travis, I think you were with us at Hatfield, weren't you? I called you out there. Too cool. How long you worked here?
Going on 9 years.
Wow. Hey, I'm on 90 days probation. Yeah. Boy, you like working here?
Absolutely.
All right, that's cool. Okay, so next. This comes with the Domino, okay? 500. This comes with the Domino 700. They both do the same thing. They're called support brackets, so what they do is support. Okay, but let me do a couple of things as I get set up here. I'm gonna take that bit off, okay? Oh, I just love that pop. I got that 10 on there. I am gonna put the 5. It takes 2 seconds. I got it right here. That's Chris's. It just fell on the ground. Okay, you can have that one.
Okay.
It's perfect shape now. Hey, you're panting, huh, Peyton? Are you okay? Okay, so I'm going to put it on. Whenever I hear or see somebody using the Domino in the vertical position, I always recommend the support bracket. And the reasoning behind that, it gives it a more stable base for a supporting to plunge with. There's a few other extras on these that I would really want to show you. And I think doing these Festool Lives, I've kind of buzzed through them, and I want to make sure you understand this. Okay, see the two little tapped areas here on the base, the square part? This goes in here like this. Okay, now, if you have one of these that come with the XL, it works. Follow? Okay. I'm going to put this on, and whenever you put something on the Domino, make sure it's on a flat surface. That way there it doesn't cant on you, and that makes it'll make sure that your Domino mortise is at a perfect 90 to your referenced surface. Okay, tighten it up. Now we're ready to go. Okay, In episode number 32, I showed you these on the support bracket. Okay? We know that these flaps to the center are 37, but you also have this additional wing on the 500 support bracket that allows you to gain a new reference point. It's 20 millimeters. And the way I use this, and I show you in episode 32, is doing drawer boxes, okay? I come from the bottom, 37, and then I flip the flap to do the top. And if we really look at this, I don't get involved with that groove because I do 37. But if I had done 37, it would have been too awkward looking. This is more aesthetically pleasing. And that is why we have 20 millimeter. So someone may say, hey, I want to get that support bracket for the XL. It is not needed. The one on the XL, you just tap it on like this. Those flaps are irrelevant. And when I show that, you'll understand if you have an XL. You have the multiple tabbing system on the XL. And the first tab from the center is 20 millimeters. The second one is 37. And the last tab is 50. And don't forget, you can always push these in and release them right here. So you have the multiple reference points already on the XL. That's why we didn't include this one. Okay, so let's plunge vertically because I want to take another step. I put a 5 millimeter bit in there. I don't know if I've done this in a Festool Live, but I just love doing this. Okay? I pointed out earlier that this milled flat right here is the distance from the base to the center of the bit. It allows you to reference things. It's another reference point. So if I'm plunging and I want a large support, I'll take this and I'll bring this up like this, and I'll bring this up the plate height pretty much all the way up. So now I have a large reference surface. On the back of all the support brackets, that is the actual center line right there. So I can line it up there, and I can come on this side, which I'll flip around here. Okay, and you can see the cursor where I can line it up. But what comes into play are those flat spots on the fence, because then I can capture this axis right here. And what happens is, you'll see I can put a domino right in the center. The next thing I'm going to do is, I always do this before I plunge with my domino. I always verify in my P-brain, hey, do I have all my stuff set right? So I'm going to take this and bring it back to 15. I'll verify in my head, yes, I changed out to a 5 millimeter domino, and I'm going to do it tight. Okay, so let me just do this. I'll do a quick plunge, and that'll give you another skill in your arsenal with the domino. I don't know if I've covered that before. I may have. I just like doing it. Okay, so I'll take it like this. I'll bring it over like this. Just like this, line it up. Chris, you got that?
Yep.
Big D, you in there on that? Yep. I'm going to turn it on just like this. Remember, when you turn on a domino in a vertical position, you pinch it on. And you'll see with that, you can put that right exactly in the center of a board by using those reference points on the domino jointer. Whew. I have not looked at that clock the whole time, and I cannot believe it. Wow! I thought this was going to be 10 minutes. Woo! All right.